I know what you're thinking. It's kind of my thing after all. Why am I covering GTA 4, or Grand Theft Auto 4? A game that did incredibly well for itself and goes down as one of the franchise's best games. Which is saying a lot given the stablemates like GTA 3, Vice City, Red Dead Redemption, and even GTA 5 more recently. I'm a massive Rockstar fan. I'm talking State of Emergency, Midnight Club 2, Red Dead Revolver, Rockstar fan. And I mean, I've been playing their game since GTA 2 on the PS1, which means that yes, basically, I'm that old. GTA 4 was a special game for many Rockstar longtime fans, such as myself, because it was the first time the major developer had attempted multiplayer at all. That's why I'm featuring it on this series, which typically covers online games or companies of video games. GTA 4 featured some of the most fun and goofy online gameplay I have ever experienced, and it was GTA Online before GTA became GTA Online. This episode is less about the direct failures of GTA 4 and its multiplayer, since both were incredibly successful and resulted in sequels that outdid them effectively, and is more about covering the interesting and not so often told story of GTA 4's multiplayer and the birth of Rockstar's current multiplayer behemoth. How did GTA 4 Online manage to capture so many people's hearts to want to play the game even after it was shut down? And what were the largest contributing factors that made Rockstar shut it down in the first place? All of this and more is coming, including the much anticipated and beloved final deduction later on in this episode of Death of a Game, GTA 4 Online, that explains the largest reasons the game failed based on the evidence and data gathered throughout the episode. Let's waste no more time, detectives. Grab some guns and armor and hop in. We're gonna rob a bank in a video game. Hello everybody, I'd like to welcome our sponsor for this video. It's Geologie. Geologie is a 9-time award-winning men's skincare product recognized in the Men's Health, Esquire, and Ask Men Grooming Awards, with 5,000 plus 5-star reviews. Geologie creates a simple, effective skincare routine customized just for you. You just click the link provided and fill out a 30-second diagnostic quiz with, in just a few clicks, you tell them about your skin goals, and then a team of dermatologists will design a regimen just for you to be shipped directly to your door. It's that simple. This skincare routine helps you fight acne, reduce oiliness, prevent wrinkles, combat dark or puffy under eyes. As somebody with chronic dark under eyes and dry skin, I really enjoy Geologie's skincare product because it helps me feel refreshed in the morning and at night. And not only feels fresh, it smells fresh too. Head to geologie.com, that's Geologie.com, and take their free skincare quiz to save up to 70% on your 30-day trial. Even better, join their Geologie Galaxy community for more daily tips, giveaways, and more at discord.gg/geologie. Thanks again to Geologie for sponsoring today's video, and back to the mystery detectives. The story of Rockstar, the developer behind the Grand Theft Auto series, would have its start back in 1998, though technically it formed from the ashes of DMA Design, which formed back in 1987. Okay, well, sort of. The story of Rockstar and Rockstar Games is actually really complicated. For starters, technically, they're two different companies. Rockstar Games is the publishing branch and the one formed as a subsidiary of Take-Two Interactive. Rockstar, or originally known as DMA Design, is the one that's founded by the Scottish video game pioneer developer David Jones and friends. That's the actual video game developer. They're responsible for the GTA series, which launched in 1999 and was an incredible success for DMA Design, later known as Rockstar North, and Rockstar Games. GTA 2 was my and many others' first entry into the series, a top-down PlayStation experience that totally bent the rules of what expectations were for games of the time. It was one of the first games I ever experienced parent supervision on, where my aunt wouldn't let my cousin play, but I was immune to her parenting. I wouldn't get too much further into the beginning of the history of Rockstar and DMA Design, which is worthy of an entire video in its own right, but after the success of GTA 2, DMA Design would be acquired by a few companies before ending up in the hands of none other than Take-Two Interactive. David Jones wouldn't immediately leave either. He would actually stick around for a bit, working on a few more notable projects, some that wouldn't launch but were especially relevant for this video, dubbed Grand Theft Auto Online Crime World. This project would never come to fruition, but would form the earliest ideas and foundations for what would later become GTA 4's Online. David Jones would leave and go on to work on projects like Crackdown and APB right before GTA would become one of the biggest franchises in the world. Always wondered how that set with him. Rockstar would keep chugging, putting out subsequently larger GTA titles that were reaching even larger success. GTA 3 in 2001 would be another one of my favorite crime experiences, offering an interesting look into the Italian and Asian crime mobs and storylines from a gameplay perspective. GTA Vice City would come out a year later and is still one of my favorite classic GTA experiences. It's a lot more polished than GTA 3 in my opinion, and features a storyline that has more of a predictable but total fun and exciting storyline twist. GTA Vice City felt like Rockstar being Rockstar, pun intended. Well then, if that's the case for Vice City, then GTA San Andreas must have been Rockstar on Rockstar, as in drinking Rockstar, the drink. Yeah, sorry, this section's getting way too punny. San Andreas was gang warfare though for most suburban teams for the first time. It pulled back the veil and introduced it in a fun, enjoyable game fashion, full of iconic meme moments and a memorable storyline. Throughout the early 2000s, Rockstar would put out a slew of other hits: Max Payne, Manhunt, Bully, Midnight Club, and then of course less hit-like titles that I still quite enjoyed, like State of Emergency, which is Rockstar's Saints Row essentially, Red Dead Revolver, which would go on to form one of the biggest Western franchises ever. Rockstar was not really missing. They were on top of the world and had risen to being a major AAA developer. But it wasn't until May 9th, 2006 that Rockstar would finally announce a true sequel to the mainline GTA series, GTA 4. GTA 4 would have a release date by January 2008, set for later that same year on consoles PS3 and Xbox 360, April 2008, and follow that up with a PC launch later that year. Details of the game were concerning the protagonist, who would be navigating Liberty City, aka a video game rendition of New York City and the boroughs. Nico Bellic. Okay, that's probably gonna be my best impersonation. An Eastern European ex-hitman immigrant would be taking on the city for the first time. But this was the franchise's second time taking on the city, and it was also featured already in GTA 3. What totally threw the world on its head, well at least for my teenage world for the day, was news that GTA 4 would be the first time they would feature multiplayer features for Rockstar. The multiplayer features would be accessed from your phone, which was accessible in the game. You can invite friends, form parties, and join specific multiplayer modes. Classic, easy-to-understand modes such as Deathmatch and Race were featured of course, but GTA 4 was really coming out with these different unique modes and being risky and fun when they didn't have to. Modes like Mafia Work were kind of like a Saw Mafia style mode where you compete against other Mafia members and have to do random tasks that are assigned to you. My personal favorite game mode though is Cops and Crooks, where you have two different modes within it. One for all, where you have to help one boss make it to the evac spot before the cops get to you, who are also players, and all for one, where it makes it to where everyone has to try to get away to the getaway vehicle. Then you have, of course, more simple modes like Carjack City, where you have to jack cars and bring them to certain locations, and Turf War, which is always a favorite but very simple, where you capture territories as two factions competing for dominance. The final mode was sort of a hidden classic, and the simplest of all the modes, Free Mode. Free Mode was pure GTA 4 in its essence. It was whatever you wanted it to be. You could navigate the entirety of Liberty City with up to 32 players and do whatever your imagination allowed. No restrictions, no shark cards, no microtransactions, no flying bikes, no flying cars, or anything. Well, unless you wanted that stuff. More on these modes and how they played later though. These modes, as described by GameSpot and other media members who got to play them before players, were a total riot, and many fans were eagerly awaiting the first time that GTA went to multiplayer. GTA 4 would launch on Xbox 360 and PS3 April 29, 2008. GTA 4 is easily, inarguably, one of the greatest and most influential games of all time. Not only did the game sell over 3.6 million copies in the first day, it generated 500 million after selling 6 million copies in the first week. GTA 4 won Game of the Year awards from Game Trailers, Giant Bomb, IGN, Kotaku, Time Magazine, the Los Angeles Times, and the New York Times. GameSpy would state of the game that Rockstar's magnum opus is a modern-day masterpiece that could change the way that the world views video games, giving the game an impressive 5 out of 5 stars on top of that, praising the writing, the visuals, the combat, and even the multiplayer. IGN gave GTA 4 a 10 out of 10, something they haven't given since Soul Calibur in 1999, which is another of my favorites I might add as well. IGN said that GTA 3 was revolutionary, so GTA 4 was a major leap forward from that. Now there's so many videos to talk about the genius that is GTA 4 on YouTube and across the web, so I'm not going to spend too much time focused on that. But GTA 4 was for as many people as close as you could get to a flawless game. With subsequent DLC and extra content, Rockstar would only continue to push that envelope later too. GTA 4 for the time really was Rockstar's magnum opus. GTA 4 would launch on PC December 2nd, 2008, bringing great success to the PC as well, as a rather quality port. This would increase the online multiplayer audience as well, though PS3 fans wouldn't get the same benefit as games for Windows Live was not compatible and more geared towards Xbox and PC relationships. Actually, on that note, one of the largest undocumented issues GTA 4 Online was facing issues was actually the PS3. Lobbies wouldn't start properly, and it was so bad that I met multiple players in my time playing on Xbox who actually bought the Xbox version just because they couldn't play PS3 online. It would take Rockstar a bit to combat these issues, probably due to their unfamiliarity with multiplayer frameworks and how that would coincide with PS3, and their reliance on Microsoft's Game Network feature was going to rear its ugly head again at some point too, as it always does, so they weren't out of the woods on that either. But really, the beauty for me with GTA 4 is, and always will be, the little talked about beauty, hence me featuring it in this episode, is going to be its online components. I told you for reference before, in the video, Rockstar hadn't really even gone online before, but had aspirations as far back as the early 2000s. Now if you're watching this video now, maybe you've seen my other videos, or you know that I'm a massive fan of MMOs. Pun intended, I guess, right? Maybe? But I also loved online games in general, and GTA 4 for me was incredible. I could spend so much time talking about each and every mode, including the ones that I've mentioned already, or how many of the scenarios and missions featured in GTA Online, like the heist and all that, clearly got their inspiration from their usage, originally, in GTA 4 Online. But I really will spend most of my time talking about Cops and Crooks, and Free Play, because those are my two favorite modes in the game. Cops and Crooks was like a real-life game we used to play as kids, adapted to a video game. We used to play Cops and Robbers as kids, where you had a jail and had to escort gang members to a certain site and so on and so forth. Cops and Crooks was basically just that, but GTA style, so everything was turned up to 100, with guns and police and cars and so on and so forth. Whether you decided to be the escort or escorter in One for All or compete against the group in All for One, Cops and Crooks offered constant enjoyment. It was just a game mode that never got boring for me because there was just always massive amounts of parity every time you loaded into the map. And to think they could have added so much more to it, right? On the other hand, you had Free Play, the most simple but arguably most fun of the game modes in GTA 4 Online. Free Play was GTA Online without any of the microtransaction crap, and the economy being based on that. In Free Play, you had access to everything in the game, as a giant lobby of players. I must have spent hours jumping from planes and trying to land into random NPC pools in their backyards, just for fun. But the most iconic thing about GTA 4's online Free Play was the airfield. This is where you could immediately get a jump in stars and hijack some planes. When players went here, pretty much everyone else would go there too, knowing that havoc was about to be created. GTA 4's online play was simplicity at its finest. No too complicated modes or high buy-in price besides the box price, which most people already owned the game due to its legendary status anyway. It was the perfect storm of a weirdly popular and way too fun for an auxiliary mode of sorts for the already quite momentous video game that was GTA 4. GTA 4's online reign lasted for at least a solid 5 to 6 years after, which is quite impressive and comparable to MMOs. And when I say lasted, I mean in its heyday. It lasted well after that. By 2013, GTA 4 would sell 25 million copies, propelling it to one of the greatest GTA titles ever, and one of the best-selling games of all time. This would weirdly position Rockstar for future online experiences, and pave the way as well, as many gamers had experienced GTA Online, if only temporarily. It was like prepping a massive market before later proper cashing in, kind of on accident. That same year, Rockstar North would develop yet another hit GTA title, GTA 5. GTA 5 would pull no punches in taking the experience online, with full scenarios, or heists as they were known, and long-term money-based progression possible in the game, as well as a plethora of game modes and more. If GTA 4 was dipping their toes in accidentally and getting gold, GTA 5 was attempting to dive right in and cash in on that success. GTA Online had microtransactions possible in the way of shark cards, or cards that could give you in-game cash. This in any MMO or online RPG context would be deemed pay to win, but GTA operates in this weird pseudo-online game territory, not really yet fully explored. There was this gray area that was just ripe for monetization. In order to get access to certain guns, vehicles, and buyable properties, the more you had to spend in-game cash. As the game became more progressively popular, this would of course increase in value and cost, including things that were in the millions of dollars range. What used to be that pure free-play GTA experience offered in GTA 4 was effectively tainted. Now people with the biggest credit cards would enjoy the game to its fullest experience, unless you managed to get there by one of the many in-game exploits and just cash out before that, of course. Sure, GTA Online's success can't be denied. I mean, the game made nearly $1 billion in a year, which is absolutely insane to think about. But GTA Online's success will always be built on a predatory market that could only exist because consumers by that point had been either beaten down to the point of accepting it, or it just existed in too much of a gray area. Artistically, the game has always had a ceiling that GTA 4 didn't suffer from by design, where it was built on monetizing the next bit of content in addition to the game. That being said, GTA 4 was limited in that respect because it played more like a single-player game with multiplayer features, so it wasn't going to get the same level of constant updates like GTA Online. So there's pros and cons to both of these naturally, GTA Online being far more recent and having the updated version of the game. But GTA 4 for me and many other GTA fans will always remain the supreme experience, because it never tried to get you to pay at any step of the way to have fun. GTA 5 in its own right was a massive success as well, generating $6 billion in revenue and being the second best-selling video game of all time. Now getting back to GTA 4. GTA 4 would have a short stint at the beginning of 2020 where it would be removed from Steam, due to the games for Windows Live altogether being abandoned and discontinued. Because the multiplayer was set up on PC through this, it meant that GTA would have to be pulled from the store due to the game issues. Within a few months, GTA 4 would return to Steam, but this time facing a heavy casualty. No longer would GTA 4 be playable online, meaning that Rockstar had to sacrifice the online play, or at least they stated that, altogether to solve the issues they were having with Steam. Along with the loss of multiplayer was some epic radio stations such as Ramjam FM, Self-Actualization FM, and Vice City FM. Whether or not these truly needed to be lost due to licensing issues or issues with games for Windows Live, we won't know. But one thing is for sure, Rockstar in 2020 wasn't the same company anymore and hadn't been for some time. GTA 5, GTA Online, and the Red Dead Redemption series, which saw a comeback after their cult hit Revolver, with 2 major titles released after that, which were incredibly successful. This all generated more billions for the company and their publisher Rockstar Games, aka Take-Two. But Rockstar hadn't really ever cared for emulation, nor the community modding their games, billions of dollars fame or not. They had consistently since inception not been the most receptive to the modding community that could have truly transformed their game and franchise to the next level if given the chance. And when certain private servers got popular enough, Rockstar has shown the desire to send warnings to server holders, whether it's San Andreas modded online servers, GTA 4 servers, or other games. This reluctance for them to open to the community makes me hesitant to ever call them a favorite video game developer of mine, and also makes me not trust their motives for things like art preservation and artistic integrity in general. I don't think they fought very hard to keep GTA 4 online servers up is kind of what I'm trying to hint at, because it wasn't making them any money. Pioneer or not, it definitely wasn't making GTA Online money. Don't get me started on the whole fiasco that is the GTA remasters. Vadim and many others did a video on it. Vadim's is particularly detailed and shows how money hungry the company has gotten, with seemingly no integrity at a subpar product, going as far to even hire the same company again for the definitive edition. So if it's broke, just don't fix it or... wait, what? And no, GTA 3's remaster wasn't any better, being seen by many people as essentially a crappy mobile game ported and then reported to remaster it. Even GTA 4 got a remaster tease by the end of 2021. You get a remaster, you get a remaster, everyone gets a remaster. Where was the integrity? Where was the love for the classic titles like GTA 3 or San Andreas? There's nothing wrong inherently with a remaster, but you're not even doing it right and have the community's respect. It's not that Rockstar was a bad company, but they're not really the good guys, is kind of what I'm hinting at here. They just didn't seem to have much interest in the longevity of their titles and what they meant to the fans of them, or preservation of them. Not past a certain point at least. Allowing crappy remasters to be done to make quick bucks off of it is kind of the worst of it. As any MMO fan watching this could predict or likely did predict, the economy in GTA Online by 2022 would be in complete ruin, and probably much before then too. Shark cards or premium cash cards you could purchase caused inflation to insane levels, making higher end items even more unreachable for players who don't spend money in the game. To sum it up, you have people flying around in motorcycles or cars and shooting at people and annoying them from afar, while most players who don't have the ability to just shoot them in the head, like yours truly, will just basically end up getting harassed by these players. And I mean, they tried to do it to me too. If I wasn't a GTA veteran and couldn't just kill them pretty easily, it would have very much affected me negatively. And of course, the inflation, no matter my skill, always affects me, because even if I'm good at the game, it still means that I would have to grind an inordinate amount versus just paying for it or trying to get some kind of exploit. Now, this isn't much of a problem for Rockstar though. As their game fades more into obscurity and less relevance, they can just continue to make more money and make as much money as possible due to the economy functioning like this. For every player who leaves due to inflation, they're counting on more, or even less, being willing to just spend more to make a profit. Like, sure, they turned a player like me away from it, but if they can get one whale, then 100 of me don't really matter that much. This has been the formula for at least a decade at this point for Rockstar. They would try a similar thing with Red Dead Redemption 2's multiplayer too, but would fail at sharing similar or even comparable success to GTA Online for a number of reasons we will cover in another video detailing that. Though this overall business approach for Rockstar was successful, it soured them as a goodwill developer in the eyes of the fans, and marred many perspectives of them in their future games. With Rockstar, you can know that they're going to make and stated that it was a cash grab because it didn't offer anything of value compared to what could be grinded in the game, which I think shows how bad the monetization had gotten to in that game, period, right? GTA 6 had a tight lid on details concerning the game, and when it was supposed to be coming out, as typical in GTA lore really. But everything changed September 2022 when a massive leak of hours of footage hit the web from a hacker. The same hacker would be arrested and tried, by the way, which makes the whole thing pretty serious and high profile. The footage was quite early in development, but showcased multiple perspectives again, like heavily featured in GTA 5, this time featuring a female and male protagonist, which seemed to fit the whole Bonnie and Clyde dynamic to an extent. There's not much information released from the gameplay besides the gameplay footage itself, besides the aforementioned characters and the fact that the game would be featured in Vice City, which would have me and many other fans excited as Vice City is my favorite GTA city and classic game. As always, especially with the massive AAA development cycles, it's too early to say for sure how this game's going to look until it becomes closer to a playable state. I just hope that the monetization hunger that Rockstar suffers from doesn't plague the single-player experience in GTA 6 at all, at the very least. And if it does affect the next generation of online GTA games, I hope it's at least pared down to a certain extent. I get it, corporations, you're designed to constantly drive towards profit and feed your mega suits, But can we just make some billions and not all the billions? I mean, your game can last longer and have a far better market reputation and artistic legacy, could make money more in the long term, but I get that those last bits, before the money part, don't make as much money. Not in the immediate, at least. But best wishes to GTA 6 though, and the hope for yet more fun online experiences in GTA period. So now you can at least in some way see the charm of GTA 4 online, right? Even if you didn't play it. It was the magic before the wild storm that became GTA Online. Before Rockstar reached their Blizzard Activision level ascension of money grubbing. It felt like it was still a core Rockstar experience, without the excess bells and whistles or attempts to nickel and dime you. Pure, ultimately, is the best way to describe it. It was pure GTA. Fear not though, detectives. If you didn't get the chance to experience GTA 4 at live, you might still have a chance today. As of August 2022, there were reports that GTA 4 would have serious efforts to prop up community service for the game. Unfortunately, because GTA 4 doesn't use true dedicated servers, you can't really just access it in the same way that you would other servers I have mentioned before. But if you follow the article on screen's instructions with a copy of the game, you can get it working. The good news is that when you do get it properly working, it works flawlessly because it relies on PTP and not a server. GTA as a franchise isn't stopping anytime soon either, which is exciting as a fan, especially as a fan of the franchise and the online excursions. Rockstar might be money hungry, but historically they have made good original games. Let's get to everyone's favorite part of the video. The final deduction, where we take all of the gathered clues and evidence and put the case to bed concerning the largest contributing factors for the death of a game, GTA 4 Online. GTA 4 Online utilized games for Windows Live, and that died a horrible death. Rockstar doesn't seem too interested in proper game preservation or community support. PS3 lobbies were incredibly buggy and nearly unplayable. Being a pioneer means that you make the mistakes first. GTA Online made a boatload of cash that washed away GTA 4's online servers. GTA 4 Online is still my favorite Rockstar experience online, and while that might seem like an easy thing for me to say, I actually enjoyed RDR 1's online experience as well, modeled much like GTA 4 Online's, and Max Payne's online gameplay as well, which offered fun, novel things like time dilation, and of course the iconic Max Payne moments like sliding around. GTA Online, though, on the other hand, just never personally appealed to me. The amount of monetization that's stuffed into that game just puts me off in the same way an old subscription turned free-to-play game sort of does. There is enough good and free accessible content in there to get to, but it's hidden behind clunky menus that I feel came straight out of GTA 4's online gameplay. Playing with your teammates on smaller missions alone also just still feels like the same nightmare before. The places that I expected improvement on, I guess, I didn't really see the game do, except for the game engine itself. GTA 4 Online might be older and clearly has less content and polish, but until Rockstar can come out with as pure of an experience as that again, and release Cops and Crooks again, damn it, I don't see it changing as my favorite online GTA and Rockstar experience.